President has given me assurance that they will do everything possible to control the situation.
We will end recent attacks in Borno State. President Tinubu assures Governor Zulum. High-profile buildings sealed off as Federal Capital Development Authority enforces payment of ground rents.
This is unacceptable. We condemn it, and we will make sure that they will have us content.
The Speaker Tajuddin withdraws mandatory voting bill, says mark of respect for public opinion. Hello and welcome to the Network News. I am Olajide Bello. Hingino John Adams will be joining us from Lagos, while Musa Abubakar will keep us up to speed in the world of business. Musa, can you give us a tip of the iceberg on the business news segment?
Equities market begin the week in positive territory.
Many thanks, Musa. And of course, Ayo Deji Market Day is on sports updates. Ayo, what's the latest from the world of sports?
Well, as it is right now, 2 players are already in camp, bringing the total number to 22. That's the Super Eagles camp ahead of the Unity tournament that will be played in London.
All right, many thanks, Ayodeji. You can watch this broadcast live on our website, nta.ng/live, and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen for updates. Now let's begin with renewed commitment to security. President Bola Tinubu has renewed commitment towards upturning the recent situation of security in the northeast and other parts of the country. President Tinubu gave this assurance as he received Governor Babagana Umar Zulum of Borno State, who was in the State House to brief him on the current development. The governor, who just returned from some of the communities recently disturbed by Boko Haram insurgents, expressed belief that the strategic decision being taken by the federal government will check the situation.
Within the last couple of days, the Nigerian armed forces have taken some certain decisions that will curtail the menace of the insurgency. And I believe something shall be done. Most importantly, some plans are underway by the federal government, especially the establishment of forest guards. That will be a game changer.
The president, who had earlier directed security chiefs to intensify collaborations with state governor on the fight against insecurity, assured Governor Zulum of more support to check the recent resurgence of the terrorists.
The president has given me assurance that they will do everything possible to control the situation. On my own part, as the governor of Borno State, I will not relent in my effort in strengthening the resilience of our community, in getting our volunteers, so that the efforts of the Nigerian armed forces shall be complemented. With the support of the armed forces, we will not leave a single local government to fall into the hands of the insurgents.
And away from security, President Bola Tinubu has officially presented the APC flag to the party's standard bearer in the forthcoming governorship election in Anambra State, Nicholas Ukachiku. APC National Chairman Abdullahi Ganduje presented the candidate and his running mates Uche Ekwenife, who were produced through an indirect primary election to the president at the State House. The governorship candidates assured the president that APC is already mobilizing for support in Anambra State to emerge victorious in the election. In an interview with State House correspondents afterwards, the governorship candidate spoke about his chances in the November 2025 election.
So I left Abuja with all my supporters and Abuja people to join APC. And then also my deputy also came into Abuja also and then joined us from Abuja to APC. So it makes APC to be bigger. So if I'm from the south, there's Nigeria candidate from the south, and my deputy is Nigeria candidate, one's Nigeria candidate from the center, and all of us have joined APC. Means nothing is left of Abuja in the state. So we're coming with that momentum. And when the president visited, he saw the enormous crowd that came to his party people that were so happy, whether from morning till the time he left, with so much enthusiasm, with so much joy and happiness. When you see your party member, you know, and the president acknowledged that, and I just go and bring Anambra to the center. And that's what we're going to do.
The activities marking ECOWAS Art 50 continues, and President Bola Tinubu, who is also the chairman of ECOWAS, will leave Abuja on Tuesday for Lagos to celebrate along with other leaders. The ECOWAS Golden Jubilee was flagged off in Accra last month. The Lagos event will include reenacting the 1975 declaration at the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs in Victoria Island. At the Echo Hotels and Suites event, President Tinubu will highlight the economic bloc's milestones. While in Lagos, President Tinubu will on Saturday, May 31, commission some projects of the administration. Among them are the Section 1 of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, Lekki Deep Sea Port, Tax Credit Concrete Road, the flag of Section 2 of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, and the 7th Axia Road. The president will virtually commission Kano Kanwa Danja Hadeja Section 2 Road and Yakasai Zali Road and flag off the Kano Northern Bypass Zaria Hunki Dabai Section 1, Dabai Kafo Malum Fashi and Malum Fashi Dayashi Gidan Mutun Daya Section 3. The president will observe the Eid al-Kabir prayers at the State House, Dodam Barracks, before returning to Abuja. The People's Democratic Party says the sealing of its National Secretariat complex is undemocratic and promises to challenge the development. This was part of the outcomes of its National Caucus meeting held in Abuja. Timothy Yusuf reports.
This National Caucus meeting held at the Bauchi State Governor's Lodge in Asokoro, Abuja is ahead of the party's proposed National Executive Committee meeting slated for this Tuesday, 27th May 2025. It was attended by governors on the platform of the PDP, members of the Board of Trustees, National Working Committee, and other organs of the party. Acting National Chairman Umar Damagum briefed the media as the meeting adjourned to tomorrow, Tuesday, 27th May 2025. Asked if the PDP neck will still hold, the party was silent on the question. He, however, reacted to the sealing of the Wadata Plaza, headquarters of the party.
This is unacceptable. We condemn it, and we will make sure that they will have us to contend in the near future.
Tuesday, 27th May 2025. This meeting will decide the way forward to whether or not the party's neck will hold as scheduled. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
And to the National Assembly, Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, has withdrawn the compulsory voted bill, which he co-sponsored with Representative Daniel Asama from Plateau State. He proposed legislation to amend the Electoral Act 2022 to make voting mandatory for all eligible Nigerians. Had passed second reading on the floor of the House, generating debates and public reactions. Speaker Tajuddin, however, says the decision to withdraw the bill follows extensive consultations with a broad spectrum of stakeholders, as well as respect for individual freedom and public sentiment. He notes that the bill was introduced with the best of intentions to promote civic engagement and higher voter turnouts, but also acknowledges that lawmaking is ultimately about the people it serves and their rights. Vice President Kashim Shettima says there is an urgent need for institutional reforms as the foundation for solving the majority of Nigeria's public policy challenges. He said their views during the official presentation of the draft National Public Policy Development and Management Framework by the Special Advisor to the President on Policy and Coordination, Hadiza Bala Usman, at the Presidential Villa. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports.
Strengthening the nation's institutional frameworks will largely address Nigeria's public policy challenges. Vice President Kashim Shettima at this meeting described the new policy framework as a transformative approach that has been long overdue in Nigeria's governance architecture, calling for a national reset in the way public policy is conceived, communicated and implemented, noting that the success of every government is a workable national public policy.
If we get our institutional frameworks right, we solve our 80% of the challenges of our public policies. Strong institution entails deep and firm institutions guided by strong, fair and acceptable laws. Our citizens must see that our reforms and policies are for the overall good of the nation. They must imbibe this, respect these policies, and accept it for the overall good of our nation.
Commending President Tinubu's leadership, Vice President Kashim Shettima praised the president's unique blend of public and private sector experience and his readiness to implement bold reforms.
The Renewed Hope agenda has been clear on the fact that governance is core. There's a pillar that is contained within our Renewed Hope agenda, which recognizes governance as a big pillar where we'll be able to drive our performance. In so doing, we came here today and we briefed Mr. Vice President, and he is in support of the draft policy document. He's provided his input, which we're going to go back and reflect in the document and consequently to present to the Federal Executive Council for its consideration.
The committee expressed confidence that the draft National Policy Development Framework will address deep-rooted challenges of policy management. From the State House, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
You're watching the Network News. More reports when we return. Thanks for being there. The inspiring story of Kanye Okeke, a 15-year-old battling artisan winning an arts talent, has motivated Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu as she hosted him at the State House, Abuja. State House correspondent Adeni Taiwo has more.
With an aura of triumph radiating on his face, Kanye Okeke made his way into the office of Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu, accompanied by his parents. The young autistic artist made headlines after defying his condition to earn a place in the Guinness World Records by painting and unveiling the world's largest art canvas titled "Impossibility is a Myth." His meeting with the First Lady took off on a warm note as they shared a hug, a social gesture said to be rare for autistic children.
I think he likes me already. I like him too.
Applauding Kanyachuku's accomplishment, the First Lady describes his success as not just a personal win, but a clarion call for more inclusion of children with special needs.
Autism actually, and even mental health, happens in the lives of very brilliant children. So you just have to pay attention. And this would also send a message with other parents. Because in Nigeria, when it comes to mental health, we tend to take it otherwise. And you know, their interest is always single, and you have to just push with it.
While showering the young artist with gifts, their First Lady equally praised the tenacity of his parents for paying the price to ensure that the boy lives his dream.
And the money we gave is towards his education and whatever he wants to do, and you can put it into good use for him.
Kanyachuku was led to the First Lady's office by the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Arts, Culture, Tourism and Creative Economy, Mukhtar Yawali Muhammad.
The artwork was created to promote autism acceptance and support for individuals on the spectrum, with proceeds from the event going to the Ziba Foundation.
Her acknowledgement, her gift, her support, because she pledged support for Kanye and for children. You can tell from the Renewed Hope agenda how passionate she is about children and youth and women.
Kanyachuku achieved this feat on November 24, 2024, surpassing the previous record of 9,652 square meters set in 2022. In the State House, Adeni Taiwo, NTA News.
The presidential initiative for unlocking the healthcare value chain and Kano Research Center have signed a 3-year strategic agreement to collaborate on clinical trials and research. The partnership aims to enhance Nigeria's healthcare system through research and development. PVAC National Coordinator Dr. Abdul Mukhtar emphasized the importance of research in delivering quality healthcare.
To say if we just stop importance, or provide basically everything that is demand, the entire demand, so basically no imports, but just for the entire market for Nigeria. That's the second level of ambition. And the third level of ambition is what we're talking about, which is we do number 2, fill the whole demand for Nigeria, but also look at, in the first instance, the West Africa market.
So really trying to make sure that our programming sort of aligns with the current context and that we are taking into consideration fully government's priorities, needs, and beneficiary needs as well.
Kano Research Center will offer laboratory support for clinical trials and research opportunities focusing on cancer and tuberculosis. And Globacom Nigeria Limited, after 25 years of sponsorship of the annual Judioba Festival, has signed a new memorandum of understanding with the organizing committee of the festival to extend its partnership for another 10 years. Anthony Gandonu reports.
Half of the chairman of the 2025 Ojudioba Festival Planning Committee, the coordinator of the committee, Professor Fasi Yusuf, said the annual festival, which has been a unifying point for all Ijebu sons and daughters home and abroad, is scheduled to hold on Sunday, the 8th of June 2025, 3 days after Ileya Festival, subject to sighting of the moon. Professor Fasi Yusuf added that the annual festival, which has Ojudioba, celebrating our roots, preserving our future, is hinged on the unwavering focus on the Ijebu-rich cultural heritage.
The festival is indeed the gift of the Ijebu nation to Nigeria and the rest of the world, being an outstanding model in religious tolerance, coexistence, and harmony.
The main sponsor of the festival, Globacom Nigeria Limited, described this year's Ojudioba Festival as significant for Globacom as it marks 2 decades of unwavering partnership.
This event now has been planned to be designated as one of the Africa's official heritage events. This is to tell you that this event is now global, and personally I think for us as a company we are proud to be a part of it.
We will, in addition to other prizes, be giving out 2 brand new Suzuki Celerio cars, 4 tricycles, 5 generators, and 10 grinding machines.
High point of the press conference was the signing of Memorandum of Understanding between the Ojudioba Festival Planning Committee and the communication giant for another 10 years of partnership. Anthony Gandonu, NTA News.
And time to join Hingino John Adams for stories making the rounds from the Center of Excellence. Hingino.
Olajide, and welcome to Lagos. To maximize the gains of the Lekki Deep Sea Port policy reforms that encompass adjustment of tariff structure to reflect service cost and inflation, as well as reduction of shipping dues for larger vessels, is critical to enhance competitiveness. This and the dredging of ports to pave way for transshipment are issues highlighted at the maiden visit and engagement of the Managing Director, Nigerian Ports Authority, Abubakar Nsoho, at the Lekki Deep Sea Port. Joel Pupola has the report.
A visit the operators of the Lekki Deep Sea Port have been waiting for, coming at a time the economic impact of the public-private partnership initiative is already being felt. The Managing Director Wang Xiang, in his presentation on the Lekki Deep Sea Port, knows that the potential of the 45 years concession arrangement is estimated at over $360 billion, creating more than 160,000 jobs. For this to be speedily realized, Mr. Wang says government's intervention through regular dredging commitments, cargo clearance automation, and other interventions are significant. Managing Director Nigerian Port Authority Abubakar Dantoho and his team, on a tour of critical assessment of facilities at the port, commended the management of Lekki Deep Sea Port with an assurance that the government will dredge the port to expand its capacity.
We have a lot of landlord countries that are near us. So you can carry these containers here and transship them to Chad. You can take them to Niger, through Kano, and through Maiduguri and other places. So we are not only doing this for the interest of just only trade in Nigeria, but also to the neighboring countries. They have all the technology that you require to run a modern port. So there's a lot of automation happening here.
For the Managing Director, Lekki Deep Sea Port, all the stakeholders are on the same page to ensure the port is a reference point globally.
We have to working together for that public support and that private services and management. We are combining those together to make that Lekki Port to be the brightest PPP project in Nigeria.
Located within the Lagos Free Trade Zone, the Lekki Deep Sea Port, which is the largest and newest port in Nigeria, began operation in April 2023 under a public-private partnership initiative to facilitate global trade and boost economic activities. In Lagos, Joel Bukbola, NTA News.
One of Nigeria's foremost and reputable insurance and reinsurance brokerage firms, Standard Insurance Consultants Limited, has continued to raise the bar for its consistent and excellent service delivery in financial risk management in Nigeria. At its 45th achievement ceremony, founder and group president Professor Ahmed bin Salahuddin promised to support women to top positions in the industry. Diana Ajale reports.
For decades, the story has been that of strategic growth, purposeful expansion, and people-oriented, providing more than just insurance solutions. The Seas have grown to become one of the few African insurance brokers with a global benchmarks. Standard Insurance Consultants Limited prides itself as a financially secured risk carrier. That is why big wigs, including former governor of Kano State, Ibrahim Shekarau, came to identify with the company.
He succeeded in educating the populace the importance of insurance, and today it has been embraced not only in Nigeria, it has gone to spread.
Visionary and founder SICL says the company operates on 3 core values.
Trust is very important, and the second aspect is credibility, and then the third aspect that keyword is professionalism. Irrespective of whatever you are doing, you have to put as a forefront compliance with ethics of what you are doing.
The enduring legacies of excellence, transparency, and unbroken trust has endeared many to the company.
They've taken insurance to another level entirely, bringing in partners also too from Indonesia, London market.
He's positively ambitious, deeply loyal, and a wonderful mentor.
Awards were presented to partners and staff of the company. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
That's it from Lagos. Network News continues in Abuja after the break.
Many thanks for being there. It's a moment for property owners in the Federal Capital Territory to comply with the payment of fees as the FCT administration takes action against defaulters. The earlier part of this bulletin we reported on the first day of the operation where the National Secretariat of the People's Democratic Party was affected. Now, Nazi Yakubu reports that the head office of the Federal Inland Revenue Service are among properties sealed for defaulting in the payment of ground rents between 10 and 43 years.
With swift action, the combined enforcement team of the FCT administration commenced the sealing up of premises which are in default of payment of ground rent for several years. Within the Wuse district of the city, premises belonging to the Federal Inland Revenue Service, annex block of the Ibro Hotel, and the Access Bank by the Wuse Market, as well as the Wadata Plaza, received the sledgehammer of the administration. Property also sealed up by the FCT administration are a petrol station and the office complex of the National Agency for the prohibition of trafficking in persons NAPTIP and some private premises.
Today is just to comply with what we have said, that we are going to take over all the revoked properties. And we are starting with plot 534, cadastral zone A02, as we say 1, which is being owned by Total PLC.
Samaila Kofi is the owner of the property, and the address we have in our records for him is that of Kaduna, and we duly served him. This is a copy of the revocation notice and the evidence of service. This is him, served since the 14th of March 2025, and a copy of this was duly pasted at the gate of this building.
Ground rent is a payment on landed property to the FCT administration that is payable not on request at the beginning of every year. Onoze Yakubu, NTA News.
The FCT Police Command is investigating an explosion along the Maraba-Yanya bypass at about 3 today. A statement by the Public Relations Officer of the FCT Command notes that officers of the Explosive Ordnance Disposal Unit were deployed to the scene immediately on the affected area Kadanav to ensure safety of commuters and residents. One male victim was rescued at the scene and currently receiving medical attention. Over now to Musa Abubakar for business news. Musa.
Thank you, Olajide. The Federal Inland Revenue Service Chairman Zaka Dideji says President Bola Tinubu is concerned about the well-being of Nigeria's informal sector workers, who make up 92.6% of the employed population. Speaking at the 157th Joint Tax Board meeting in Ibadan, Dideji said the focus should be on formalizing the sector using data, not taxing it. We should tax the fruit, not the seeds, he noted. He also announced plans to transform the JTB into the Joint Revenue Board for better taxation harmonization. Oyo State Governor Sheyi Makinde urged a humane approach to taxation to help informal workers thrive. Now, has stakeholders' attention turned to Nigeria for the 4th annual meeting of the Africa Sovereign Investors Forum scheduled for 16th of June. Nigeria Sovereign Investment Authority's Managing Director Aminu Umar Sadiq says the gathering will demand bold, coordinated action to deepen collaboration and unlock global capital for sustainable, large-scale, inclusive development in Africa. He emphasized that Africa's sovereign wealth funds, when united, can become a formidable force shaping the future through smart investment and long-term vision. And now to the capital market. The Nigerian stock market closed in positive territory today, driven by strong investor sentiment and increased trading activity across various sectors. At the close of trading, the all-share index rose to 109,884.92 points, reflecting a bullish performance on the floor of the Nigerian exchange. The positive momentum was supported by gains in key stocks, boosting investor confidence. Trading activity was also upbeat, with a total of 19,775 deals recorded. Over 414.5 million shares were traded, with a total market value of approximately 11.09 billion naira. Meanwhile, the market capitalization of listed equities climbed to 69.29 trillion naira, marking a significant increase and reinforcing the strength of the market's performance. But that's a quick look at business news. Olajide is back to you.
Well, thanks, Musa. And still talking business. To fully harness the benefits of the African Continental Free Trade Area, Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment is collaborating with the United Nations Development Programme to secure up to 75% discount on the cargo flights from Nigeria to East and Southern Africa through Uganda Airlines.
Nigeria is intensifying efforts to position itself as a leading exporter within the continent. And to achieve this target, the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment has unveiled the East and Southern Africa Market Intelligence Tool, a digital platform designed to guide MSMEs towards viable markets. Earlier, the ministry had initiated the Nigeria East-Southern Africa Freight Corridor, easing logistics and reducing trade barriers for local businesses.
We're telling businesses in Nigeria what is in demand in Southern Africa, 13 Southern and Eastern African countries. And we're telling them what the regulatory environment is, what you want, if it's your plantain chips, if it's your zobo, whatever it is, your textiles, your fashion, your wigs, we're telling them who wants what. And we're backing it up with a flat cargo rate that has reduced the cost from 50 to 75%.
Of Nigeria, we launched AFCFTA, which is basically how women can trade within the context of AFCFTA. And so we kind of encourage women to connect some more.
Nigeria. At the moment, we cover 17 destinations through Entebbe. And the reason why we came through here is to connect Nigeria through other destinations, through East Africa.
These initiatives represent bold and deliberate steps towards enhancing Nigeria's manufacturing capacity and reinforcing its role in intra-African trade. Maria Adu-Zakari, NTA News.
The House of Representatives is launching an investigation into the alleged existence of illegal degree-awarded institutions in Benin Republic serving Nigerian students. In continuation of the investigative hearing, Ministers of Foreign Affairs and that of Youth assured the Joint Committee of collaboration to end the ugly trend. National Assembly correspondent Muhammad Rabiu Ali reports.
It is now a week after the appearance of one Abdul Umar, a principal witness in an alleged certificate racketeering saga. This time around, Ministers of Foreign Affairs and Youth Development appeared before the committee.
We want to hear from the institution themselves to give them fair hearing, because this is needed, because for both sides, on the part of Nigeria, our name has been smeared. If not handled properly, this would cast doubt as to the quality of the certificates our graduates are parading. On their part also, their names are also smeared, because they will go down in history as a country selling fake degrees.
Questions bordering on the existence of the degree awarding institutions and interface with the Benin Embassy officials in Nigeria to a fact-finding mission were on top during the sitting.
We are very much at your disposal to provide all necessary support that would aid the investigation. Let us know exactly what you would want. We rest assured we'll take it up.
Even as of today, we have different inputs about putting an libel reform, presidential reform, into the body.
Vice Chancellors of private universities also made their submissions, briefing the committee with their nominal role and academic status. The investigative hearing adjourned thereafter. From the National Assembly, Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA.
A Sunday of sorry for many families as 19 persons lost their lives in a road accident along Lokoja-Abuja Highway in Kogi State. Solomon Ayedeng reports.
The fatal road accident involving a full-loading Toyota Hiace Hummer bus heading towards the north from the southwest was said to have collided with an articulated vehicle at Gadabiu community near Lokoja along Zaria-Gyoba Jana Road. The mishap, which occurred at about 6 p.m. on Sunday evening, is attributed to overspeeding and wrong overtaking. Out of the 27 people, including 22 adults and 5 children involved in the accident, 19 were killed, with 14 of them burnt beyond recognition, while 8 people injured are receiving treatment in the hospital. It took the combined efforts of men and officers of the Kogi State Command, Federal Road Safety Corps, and the police to rescue the injured. Meanwhile, the remains of those who lost their lives in the mishap have been given mass burial after the completion of necessary paperwork. Efforts to reach out to Kogi State Sector Commander, Federal Road Safety Corps, for his reaction was, however, unsuccessful. In Lokoja, Solomon Ayedeng, NTA News.